Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Blue Archive reaction. Today we have theme 77 and theme 160. It's been a few weeks since I've heard anything from Blue Archive, and I've just been doing everything else. So I'm really excited to get back into these. I've always enjoyed these songs, so I'm sure I'm going to enjoy today's. So without further ado, let's go. Jeez, all right. Right out of the gate with the high energy. Got a build-up going. Oh, we're going through it twice. Okay. I can assume to be the final measure. Wow. Wow, that synth really cranked up immediately. Oh. That's just a wall of synth. All right. This one almost assaulted my senses right off the bat. It's just a lot. A lot of sound. That last spot was a little bit easier on the ears, but whew. I'm enjoying the beat on it. There's just so many layers of synth. Woo! All right, that's fun. I like the melody that it has too. The simple loop, but it's very catchy. Yeah, so this one was interesting. Usually Mitsukio for me hits a lot of things out of the park, and I feel like this one was just a little too much. It had the wall of sound effect, and sometimes that can be a little bit too much. Basically, high energy, high compression, a lot of sound just being pressurized into the ears, especially since I'm listening with headphones. That's even more aggressive. So on like a mobile device, this would probably not be as much of a problem unless you have like earbuds in or something, but it's like, wow, that's a lot of sound, a lot of layers, just a lot of volume all at once. And I don't even have my headphones turned up all that high, but I can feel that pressure. So maybe, in my opinion, at least a little bit much on that side. But like I was saying, I enjoy the beat of it and the overall like looping melody that's carried throughout. It's one of those earworm things where the loop feels so secure when it loops back around that you're just like, I want to hum this all day. Like I've got nothing else in my head. That's going to appear out of nowhere and haunt my dreams. And that's a good thing. You want earworm kind of songs, especially in mobile games. But the overall production of this one might have been a little bit aggressive. I would have pulled that back a little bit, made the dynamics a little bit more distinct, because everything just really felt, especially during that like chorus, if you want to call it that, or everything was just happening all at once. Maybe a bit much for some people. I'm sure others, it won't really be an issue, but that is probably the first song from Blue Archive that I might not have just outright enjoyed purely with everything intact, production, sound, everything. I feel like Mitsukio went up to 11, probably would have been better if they stayed at like a 9, you know, like never go below that. Always try your best, but that might have been a bit too much information for at least me to take in, but that could as well be because, devil's advocate here, I was playing the drums for like 3 hours today, and I had a lot of pressure in hearing the drums constantly in the mix and everything, so maybe that's just today getting to me, but other than that, really fun song overall. I just think the production, crank it back a little bit. Otherwise, really good. Oh. All right. All right, okay. Ooh. It's like island jazz. Alright, now this one is definitely piquing my interest. Really nice having that ramp in there. Ooh! Oh, what? Oh, the half. Ooh, okay. This! This is what I was expecting to hear. Alright. This one's really cool. Got a lot of delayed hits on there. It's one of my my personal vices. I love a good delayed fill. The overall production on this one, really tight too. A lot of fun sound design things happening in the background. Little samples being tossed in. Love that door squeak too. I didn't know where it was going when that happened at the beginning, but I'm glad it went where it went. So yeah, that is much more what I've come to expect out of the Blue Archive soundscape. Very wide dynamics on everything. It wasn't like too panned or anything, like wide in that way, but it felt full. There was a lot going on. The sound design was very nice. They had a lot of stuff in there to take up that extra space. So this one's a lot more of what I've come to know, a lot more of that creative space being utilized by general sound design instead of just kind of throwing everything to the sound wall and letting it stick there and then cranking the volume up and compressing it as hard as you can. That's a little too much for me. This one was much more fun. That whole, like, I was saying, like, jazzy island kind of feel, because at first I thought it was going to go kind of like a samba direction, and then it ended up not doing that, and it had a little bit more of like a jazz flavor on the back end. So I'm like, okay, this is an interesting sound. I don't think I've heard this blend of genre influence before, which is very interesting to me. I really like it. I don't know what I would call it, but I want to find a name for it because I'm sure there's other people who have made stuff similar, and I really like the sound of it overall. There's a lot of percussive elements thrown into this, and like I mentioned already, the sound design and samples. So there's just a lot of build on this one. There's a lot of complexity here, but it doesn't overbear you like the prior one does. And I'm not trying to compare the two because I know they're completely different songs for completely different characters, but at the same time, I've heard them both back to back, and even if they are pseudo-related in their general character archetype that they're trying to cover, this one is much more palatable as a song for me in general, just by the way it was handled. I don't know if they were both Mitsukio, because this one isn't credited to anyone, but they very well could be. Not everyone and every song is going to hit everybody the same way, so maybe the last one just wasn't for me, but this one, very much for me. I really like this one a lot. But I think that's about all I gotta say for these two, so thank you all so very much for watching. If you enjoyed hearing me blab about these songs and you want to hear more Blue Archive stuff, by all means leave a comment down below of what I should get to next. If you have any that kind of pair together, leave them both together and I will try to listen to both of them back to back. And I know I didn't say it earlier, but thank you very much, JC, for being the one to request these. I threw the screenshot up earlier, but it feels wrong if I don't like thank you personally, so thank you. And of course, if you liked watching this video and you want to follow me and support me and all that to see more later, you know how to do all that, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye!